Hi everyone and welcome to today's live drawing session with Intrepid Interior Design. I am one of many interior designers on YouTube and the only interior designer on Twitch. I am currently starting this channel. If you have watched a couple of the previous episodes where I show exactly what it's like to work in SketchUp and kind of what my work is like every day. It's not HGTV, which is why the channel is called that. But I wanted to show you what happens at the beginning of a client. We have different phases, and so we have a strategic planning phase, which is kind of where I learn about what the client's needs are. And the next phase is what we call design development. And so in design development, I provide all of my clients with lookbooks or inspiration books to kind of get a feel for their individual style. I personally, as an interior designer, don't feel like it's great to have a set aesthetic. Some people like to work with designers that have a set aesthetic because then they like that particular aesthetic. But I like the challenge, and I also enjoy so many different styles that I really do enjoy working with a bunch of different people with different preferences on style. So I was just going to run through really quick this inspiration board to give you a little bit of background on this project. There is a gentleman down in Tucson who is doing an addition on his house. As he ages in place, he has decided that there is a need for a space for maybe a caregiver for to take care of him as he ages, and so he is adding on, and he would like the addition to look as if it was a part of the house instead of it just being, oh, and here's an addition. But the idea here is we want something that is easily cleanable and maintainable, something that is a little bit more transitional and modern, but still fits with the rest of his house. And so something that wears and tears really well as well, because he's not sure, is this person going to have a cat or a dog, and things like that. So we're actually designing for an unknown person, because we don't know who the caretaker is going to be. And I think his addition will also be used by his guests until he does get to that point. And so I just wanted to go over with you kind of what an inspiration board that I put together looks like. It's usually between 10 and 20 photographs of particular different design styles kind of in the same genre. And then I'll number the photos so that the client and I can talk about each individual one, what they do like, what they don't like, if something stands out to them that they really dislike. So it really opens up a style conversation with clients. And a lot of what I do for a living has nothing to do with style. It all has to do with, how certain things are installed, the longevity of them, the health of them. For example, like, does your wall covering create an indoor air issue if you have asthma? Or does the filling in your sofa cause a breathing issue or an allergy issue? And so this aesthetic is a very high level design conversation that I have with clients. But really, when I'm looking at these pictures, I'm also thinking about things like, oh, they have a lot more natural light, and how do I introduce that into a client's home? They have warmer lighting. Does the client prefer that over cooler lighting in their workspace? Things like that, and some more design psychology. So I'm just going to run through these photos here. So I started with a kitchen because he has a small kitchenette that's going in. And these are some of the finishes and layout features that were used here. And then I included the little fireplace tile for the color blue. So a lot of times I'm really just pulling for patterns or colors. I thought that the flooring in the kitchen in number 2 was really interesting, and number 4. But I really liked how neutral toned it was, even though the floor is kind of in your face. Number 1 leans more towards the traditional, but again, I was looking at more of that natural countertop look. And then number 3 is got a little bit of a touch of modern with the full black backsplash, mixed in with some natural stone. And then this is the living room that I kind of am going to maybe pull some colors from. I really liked, I mean, I'm even looking at things like the blue book and the yellow book and the red. Um, and it looks like they've mixed quite a lot of styles here. So I probably won't do that as much for him, but also you can see they have an example of window coverings, which was one of my client's main questions. This is a traditional dining room. Again, I was here looking for textures and colors. I loved the red rug. I like the irregular brick pattern on the floor. I like the upward lighting of the soffit here. And so I'm going to play around with some of those ideas. So I went way too far. Okay, over here. And then we're also doing a bathroom. And so I wanted to pull together very different bathroom ideas so that I can kind of get an idea of what he is looking for. I think he's going to lean more towards maybe 12, 9, and 8. But I was going to try to introduce to him a color palette of what's in 10, maybe something with a fun wall covering like 11. Um, but I really liked the contrast of the blue and the orange in number 8. And one of the floors that he really likes so far is kind of that orangey sautillo look, but it's actually a porcelain tile. This is another great pattern and color photo that I just kind of pulled down. As you can see here, you've got the mustard yellow, the navy blue, and then you've got purple, which purple is a huge color in the Southwest because it's the color of the mountains when the sun sets. And so sometimes people think, well, purple's not really a Southwestern color, but we even have cactus that are that color. So that's another whole nother very rich color tone that I really liked, maybe for the bedroom as well. This is a more modern approach to a living room with the furniture, but I did like the ceiling. Obviously, that's ocotillo stems, which if you don't know what that is, it's a very large plant out in the desert. And I was just looking at how clean this is and what type of windows they use, because we are about to pick doors and window frames. And then again here, I was looking at the pillows, and they used leather. They used a braided fabric for texture. They used a linear pattern on the rug and things like that. And they're using natural browns and beiges along with white. 16 and 17 is about like styles of floors and tiles. I really like how in 16 they mixed a bunch of tile, but they're all those earthy Spanish colors. And then 17 shows kind of a built-in fire feature where you can sit next to the fireplace. Very comfortable, just kind of a cozy idea. And then 18 and 19 are kind of like a first impression. So when I think about these two pictures, I'm thinking, well, what do you, when you see, what do you walk in? What is the doorway framing? And so there's a doorway that leads in from the kitchen into the living room. And so I'm trying to think about how those two different spaces relate to one another. 18, I really love the painting over the fireplace because it has all those natural colors, and I think the green and the blue will really work very well again with an orange or sautillo colored floor. And I like 19 because they use natural textures like the sheepskin throw on the back of the sofa there, and things like that. And then 20 is very playful. I really liked how they had the swings in the background. I don't think that we'll do that for this particular project, but it's definitely it'd be nice to have a touch of wicker. It's another earthy material. They used a leather sofa, which is great to clean. If you use either a faux leather or leather, it's easy to clean when you have animals that have hair. And then I really loved the rug and the pattern of the rug and the color in contrast with the white walls. And then again, I went back to the fireplace in a larger image because I wanted to really bring in that blue color. And then let's see here. 22, I love the sage green chair. I think that's a beautiful idea. Maybe we won't do velvet in the living room because they're, again, maybe an animal. And then also the dark contrasting. He already has some really beautiful wood contrasting doors. And so we're going to reuse those. And so I wanted to kind of bring that tone on tone together with the floor and the doors. This is an example of like a niche wall. We don't really have room for something like this in the living room, but we do have We will have open shelving in a little niche for a desk in the in the guest bedroom. So I just kind of wanted to use this for inspiration for that area. Again, this is how natural light plays in. You've got wooden door frames. You're seeing a lot of greenery, green and blue in the paintings. And I was also looking at like the studded leather on the chairs, the pattern, the tile pattern on the floor. And I think that's it. So I'm going to jump in and go ahead and start drafting and turn on my music and get going. But if you have any questions about this, you can always log on to my website and just send me a question. But this is kind of what an inspiration board looks like, and this is usually what you would expect from a designer in, again, the design development phase. And I'm looking forward to hearing his feedback on this.
Money world. Money world.